the beacon for the nation.
20 days past the 9th month of the Gregorian calendar. I'm talking about September, the year 2019. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome to Live Real Talk, where we'll be discussing matters governance and leadership. I don't call it politics. And this night in the studio, I'm joined by two amazing, young, brilliant, enthusiastic gentlemen to discuss matters that has been taking shape in the national political and leadership space. We've seen a lot of endorsements, we've seen a lot of defiance from the national leaders and the local leaders as well in the run-up to 7th of November Kibra by-election. Of course, we've seen the Council of Governors, I beg your pardon, coming out and proposing a different shape, a different clothing, a different outfit of constitutional amendment. They dubbed it the Ugatuzi Bill. We'll be discussing these two important topics tonight on the Live Real Talk with this amazing gentleman. On my left, immediately, we have Yasah, who is an activist, and we have a PR practitioner and a consultant, Mr. Fred Kokeyo. I hope I got that right, brother.
Thank you. You did.
Welcome, gentlemen. Karibuni sana. Going right into it, we've seen on Monday, IEBC cleared McDonald Mariga for the Kibra by-election, something that came as a blow. Everyone expected that the guy was not going to be cleared by the IEBC. But again, shock on the voters, shock on Kenyans that McDonald Mariga Wanyama was actually cleared to vie for the Kibra by-election by the chairman of the IEBC, Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission. What do you think about the endorsement? Do you think still Mariga, even with the endorsement, still stands a chance? Mr. Fred, I'm going to start with you.
Oh, thank you so much. I would really disagree by the choice of Jubilee Party in selecting McDonald Mariga as their choice for Kibra. Ideally, when they were choosing McDonald Mariga, they would have checked who is the aspirant that ODM, for instance, has fronted for that position. He wasn't the best for that matter. Every other thing remaining constant, whether he plays football or not, it really beats zero logic that he was one of the best among every other one who really contested for that nomination. So to me, it's a no.
On the flip side, it can be seen that Mariga himself is the one who showed interest rather, and not really the party endorsing or picking him. And you've clearly come out and say that he does not stand a chance. Everything remaining constant, of course. He doesn't stand a chance, so Jubilee would have thought better. Yasah, on the other hand, what do you think? Does he stand a chance, McDonald Mariga?
At the moment,
adding to the fact that he was endorsed by the president, the party leader, which is in contrary to quote-unquote what was being seen as him being the deputy president's project, quote-unquote.
We all know, like, for now in Kibra, we have 47% of candidates, voters who do not know their votes are undecided. So for now, I can say...
Sorry, what do you base your facts on? What do you base your figures on?
My figures is based on the normal newspapers that we read, and I will rely on the Standard.
Did they quote any particular survey? Did any survey
There
happen?
Is a survey, they talked about it, and there is a number of people who they are undecided on who to vote to.
And they quoted for 7%?
Yes.
Okay.
So according to me, I think there is still a big race. Mariga stands a chance of becoming the member of parliament in Kibra. Bernard Okoth stands a chance of becoming the member of parliament. So I wouldn't say I have a specific candidate who will take the post, but depends on how they're selling themselves. Okay. In Kibra, everyone is looking at the prize. Everyone is looking at who's going to be the best candidature. When you look at Mariga, he's a footballer. So it doesn't seem, and so many people from the slums, they play football. So we cannot say that he doesn't stand a chance, and so many are youth, so many are women. But depends on how people play their cards.
Okay.
That is the best
Fred,
answer I can have for now.
Okay, thank you. Fred, we've seen a lot of moves, quote-unquote, political moves being made throughout the week. We've seen McDonald Mariga being endorsed by the head of state, of which still some legislatures within Jubilee thought that the endorsement by the head of state might not be as genuine. So they've still decided that, hey, we are not, quote-unquote, to quote Ngujiri Wambugu, that is Kokeyo Town MP, who said that he will not campaign for Mariga unless he sees the president going out on the ground to really campaign for the Jubilee's candidate, that is McDonald Mariga. On the other hand, we've seen Maina Kamanda, who is a nominated MP, and Moses Kuria coming out and say that they are in support of the ODM's choice, that is Imran Bernard Otieno. What's your take on that?
My take here, I mean, all these PR gimmicks that we are seeing all over doesn't matter. And just like I said, every other thing remaining constant, the president is the party leader of Jubilee. Okay, so him really endorsing McDonald Mariga, we really expected that. Okay, we really expected him to at least align himself with the candidate, I mean with the choice his party really took. But even if we check through even their body language and how they behaved, even at that time they were doing pictorials and such things, the president was not so easy. I mean from where I sit, the president was not so easy with the choice, even how they were behaving. And actually even facts have it right, that even as at the time they were going for these very endorsement, I mean, who would question? I mean, what happened, you know? Was it a meeting? Was it a strategy meeting? Or it was just a pictorial session?
On the other hand, do you think it's best practice and it's an international trend that the party leader is mandated, is obliged to do so? On the other hand, do you think so?
It is mandated, of course. They should be going beyond their ways to even campaign for their aspirants. Okay, and of course, I'm predicting a scenario where Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, who is the party leader of Jubilee, is not going to step into Kibera campaigning for McDonald. I mean, it's going to be a deputy president's affair, and it's all in black and white.
So you still think, quote unquote, that McDonald Mariga is a deputy president's project in the Kibra by-election?
It's in black and white. It's in black and white, he is. And of course, that you're able to see. Even for Kina Maina Kamanda to go and speak about their choice, you know, as a party. You know, they had some forces pushing them for that matter. Yes, they don't just wake up from nowhere and speak. I'm making that assumption.
That's an assumption, of course.
And just like we say in my, in ODM party, for instance, we want to presume that anything Mbadi says or Mohammed from Suna East says is more or less the party leader's position. I mean, it's an assumption that people
Presumption,
make.
Of course.
Yes.
Not unless they come out outrightly and say that this is the position of the party.
Yes,
but
yes.
most of the time we do. Maybe we assume.
Yes.
But we assume when they say something, then that's coming from them. Yes, sir, you quoted a survey that I'm trying to get the original survey here, but I cannot get the firm that conducted that survey. It's just quoting that nearly, quote unquote, nearly half of voters yet to decide on the candidate they will elect to succeed the elected. Of course, a survey commissioned by ODM has shown. A survey commissioned by ODM. We don't know which company did the survey, what guided them did the survey, the sampling methodology that said. It further said the article that at least 47% of the voters remain undecided according to the opinion poll ahead of September 7th primaries. The poll, however, suggested that Bernard Okoth Imran as the most preferred candidate at 27% approval. Still, what makes you think that Mariga still stands a chance?
You know, based on the discussion with my friend, colleague here, he looks 100% supporting ODM. But I won't speak here as someone who's supporting ODM or Jubilee, because I'm an activist and I'm not allowed to disclose
to declare your political stand.
My political stand.
That's understood.
But based on the way people talk, I relate with different parts, different people from different areas. There are so many people that are endorsing McDonald Mariga.
Yes.
Though there are people who are saying we're just taking the money, then we are running away. But our stand is Bernard Okoth. But still, You know, we are at the beginning of the campaign, and we really don't know how. Like 47% is a huge number. Bernard Okoth being at 27% gives him a hierarchy. But you have to know that Mariga is only 3 or 4 days old into politics after Bernard Okoth was nominated. That is like 2 weeks ago. So there is that opportunity when Mariga stands up and decides to go higher the way Bernard Okoth went. He stands a high chance. And you should remember, Mariga has not gone to A area, B area, C. He's just walked. He's not used PAs. He's not used all those mechanisms to declare himself as a candidate. So for me, I think they both stand an opportunity and a chance to be elected as member of parliament for Kibra. That is my stand for now.
Interesting. You have something to add on that?
I just have something to say. Ideally, in Kenyan politics, I mean, all of us are here, and we've been here, and we've seen things happening. It's not about who you're gonna. It's not about who you are in Kenya. It's about who are you serving. Okay, who is your master?
The political masters.
Yes, who is your master, for instance, and where do you come from? Okay, who is the dominant people from where you come from? For instance, I would mention Kibra. Okay, who are the dominant tribes in Kibra? Okay, let's not go so tribal, but now these are facts as they are.
And unconfirmed data. We've not had any data from the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics or from the IBC that says that we have this number of this tribe as registered voter in this, but unconfirmed reports suggest that we have the Luo community on the forefront of this.
Yes. Yes. But now, if you check through the divisive nature of the Luo community in Kibra, you're able to see. I expected the Luo community itself, led by their kingpins. They have quite a number of people whom they hear when they talk, they listen. Okay, I expected such people to come proudly and confidently endorse Mariga. That is not coming forthright. Okay, even as much as the Jubilee. The party leader did an endorsement just a day before. It's really not the face of really what Kibra people want. And just like I mentioned before, it's not about who you are. It's about who is pushing for you.
And the Kingpins actually came out in support of their preferred candidates. Yes. They have the Amani National Congress leader, Honorable Musa Mudavadi, coming out all guns blazing, supporting Eliud Owalo, who enjoys a 4%, a 4% chances, who is tying with McDonald Mariga, who just was cleared recently, another 4% as well. And we have Engineer Misi Butichi, who was not featured anywhere in this poll. Just to remind our viewers that 0754 707 707. I'm told that already some lines are coming in. So please keep calling and let's talk. Let's know who do you think stands a chance. Now, still on you, Fred.
Yes.
We've seen endorsements from Moses Kuria and Minor Commander to the ODM candidate, that is Honorable Imran Okoth, and to court Minor Commander says that I am here in my own capacity and that the handshake brought in harmony. So I'm here on my own capacity to support Honorable Bernard Otieno Okoth alias Imran, despite my party having a candidate. Of course, this is something that was echoed by Moses Kuria, that is Gatundu MP, Honorable Moses Kuria, the Gatundu MP, just yesterday in a church function. Would you define this as a defiance to the party policies of the Jubilee, or rather the presumption that the fact that your party has a candidate, then it is a must for all of you then to toe the line and support that candidate and throw all your weight behind the candidate?
That is never happening in Kenya today. Ideally, it's a game of cards. How do you play your games, for instance? I mean, the handshake came about with harmony, as they say. So ideally, they're trying to position themselves in between the line, okay? So that some of them are on this other side, because ideally, if all the Jubilee aspirants go straight and endorse their Jubilee candidate, then the handshake will be at stake. Yes. You understand?
And I'm told there's a phone call coming in. Hello, Horizon TV. Horizon TV, hello. Horizon TV, hello. I think we have lost the caller. So keep on calling, keep on texting 21951 is our SMS line, Horizon TV and all our social media platforms. You're saying something, Fred?
Yeah, just like I was saying, it's it's really hypocrisy. It's an hypocritic nature of Kenyan leaders, okay, to try and stand at the periphery, at the, it's a junction, you know. They don't want really to endorse this other side, or neither do they want to endorse this other side, because if they do so, then the handshake thing is at stake. Because ideally, no one is able to explain what the handshake really was, okay. So in case all of them go towards one side, then the fact that these people greeted each other and the harmony that we enjoy today that would make us do business here and there is not going to be there. Yes, so that's my position. And for my inner commander to come out so strongly and say, this is my individual position. It has happened before. They come out strongly and say, these are my personal thoughts about the case. And later it turns out to be, of course, there was some, you know, certainly there was some people behind it from those parties. So ideally, that's just a game of cards from both ends.
I like the way.
Just before I get to you, I'm told there's a phone call. Horizon TV, hello? Horizon TV, hello?
Hello, I'm Nixon Okulo calling from Kangware, Nairobi.
Yes, karibu sana.
Yeah, nilikuwa swala ya uongozi katika nchi ya Kenya.
Yes.
Yeah, mambo ya Kibira ambao naona Mariga amekuja last minute.
Ndio.
Na ukiangalia Kibira sasa hizi ni kama kulingana na kabila. Kuna Waluya, kuna Wanubi, kuna Wajaluo.
Ndio.
Na ukiangalia Walo ambao ni Mluya. Alafu angalie wale ambao watasapotiwa na Wajaluo na Wanubi. Alafu ni kama Mariga anatumiwa hapo kama kujipimanisha nguvu katikati ya Raila na
nani? Oh, okay, I think we've lost him. And sorry. So please, tafadhali tunataka kusikia ukimaliza maoni yako, tafadhali tupigie simu tena. And remember, when you're calling us, please just reduce the volume of your TV so that you can be able to communicate clearly. Yes, so you wanted to add something. And just as you're responding to that, maybe I ask you, the battle, the race for this Kibra sit between Macdonald Mariga and Imran Okoth has moved from the two candidates, has moved from just the two parties to two individuals to like set, it's a litmus test for the 2022 general election. Do you think that's the case?
I like the fact that it's clear politics is a game of cards. We have handshake, and handshake is one of the most important things that is happening in our country at the moment. So Jubilee having other members supporting ODM, it's just a favor, trying to show them that we are on your side. But the fact that the president has already endorsed Mariga, it's a big deal. We may be thinking about he wasn't smiling when he was in State House.
If you allow me, because I think our caller is back. Our caller is back. Horizon TV, hello? You got to continue that thought. Horizon TV, hello? Horizon TV, hello?
Hello?
Horizon TV, hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, naitwa Ismail Sumbule.
Sorry?
Naitwa Ismail Sumbule.
Yes, Ismail, karibu sana.
Kutoka kampuni ya Ngoma County.
Karibu sana Ismail.
Nafuatilia kipindi ambacho kinaendelea.
Yes.
Na vile najua Mr. Mariga alichukuliwa kutoka upande wa kwetu.
Naomba upunguze sauti ya televisheni kidogo ili tuweze kukupata vizuri Ismail.
Sasa ninaona kujitokeza upande wa
naomba upunguze sauti ya runinga tafadhali.
Nguvu kidogo. Aone kwamba anaweza kupata hiyo nafasi. Katika sehemu hiyo.
Ndugu Ismail, punguza sauti ya runinga ili tuweze kukupata vizuri tafadhali. Naomba tena. Naam, nakusikiza.
Okay, niko nasema hivi.
Ndio.
Kwa mkono wa Mariga upande wa Kibra.
Okay.
Aweze kupima upande huo. lakini tunajua hiyo sehemu ni sehemu ya ambayo imedominate na Waluo sana katika hiyo area ya Kibra. Lakini politically mpaka lazima yeye ajitokeze na aweze pia kujaribu, kwa sababu this country hii ya watu wote. Hatuwezi kusema kwamba katika hiyo sehemu ni sehemu ya walimiwa chuo ama wa kabila gani. It is the country of all of the people of Kenya.
Okay.
So what I can advise, let the politics remain to the people of Kenya. Regardless na mambo ya kusema pengine hii ni kabila fulani ama kabila fulani, sera zake ambazo atatoa kule Kibra ndio zitafaa sana, watu waangalie kwa hiyo sera zake. Alafu nafikiri atafanya vizuri.
Okay. Asante sana ndugu Ismail. Salamu zetu kwa watu wa Bungoma County ambao tunawasalimu sana. And of Tumbo, can I get 2 more minutes tafadhali? Tafadhali. Asante. Thank you so much Mohamed Gitonga. Can I get 2 more minutes before we go for the break? Yes, thank you. Okay, thank you so much, my director. This camera, okay. Thank you so much, my director, Suleiman of Tumbo, for adding me the extra minutes. Yes, sir, you were saying something?
As I was saying, by Friday last week, people knew, and people even confirmed, that Mariga is not going to be cleared.
They did not confirm?
This is people that I've talked to.
Okay, so.
They confirmed that he wasn't going to be allowed.
Yes.
He was going to be dropped out. But come on Monday, for him to be cleared, it's a very big deal. You should be asking ourselves, we should be asking ourselves, why now? Why him? Why is the president behind this? We all know it's a fight between 2022, between Ruto and Raila. But this shows the hypocrisy in politics that is happening. Because the president had the will of saying it's no, I'm the party leader, and everyone backs that we are going with the ODM party and we're supporting Bernard Okoth. But we should be asking ourselves, we shouldn't be so comfortable that now we have the handshake and now we think it is ODM, it is Raila and Uhuru Kenyatta. This is a very big question that Kenyans should be asking themselves. Everyone has been thinking the power of the deputy president was lower than they expected. But this is something that everyone in Kenya should be asking themselves. Why now? After the handshake, why doesn't Jubilee support ODM fully?
But we've seen members of the Jubilee coming out and believing in the good work that Honorable Ken Okoth did, and they said, quote unquote, that we've seen the good work that was done by the late Ken Okoth, and we've seen the constituency manager for the past 7 years, who we want him to go on and carry the job.
Mind you,
that's what they say.
Mind you, it's most of the people.
Okay.
Jubilee is a party.
Yes.
No, just let me finish within 30
Very
seconds.
quickly.
Or 10 seconds.
Please.
Jubilee has candidates. And when you see the way Raphael Tuju was talking, he talked on behalf of not supporting McDonald Mariga.
Okay.
But the reverse mechanism now is they're all backing McDonald Mariga. And when you see Maina Commander, the way he was talking as an individual.
Yes,
he didn't talk as a party.
10 seconds
so
over.
That is something that we should be asking ourselves.
Thank
Why
you,
did he talk as a party, as himself, not as a party?
Gentlemen, please just hold it there because we need to pay our bills. I'm getting this pressure. My ear is about to burst. Mohamed Gitonga and Suleiman of Tumbo, thank you so much. And let's go on this very short break, please. I hope we won't stay long. Is it 60 seconds? Yes, we're going to be back in 60 seconds. Don't go away.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Wake up to exciting mornings every day. Active Jumatatu with Muhammad Obura. Tech Tuesday with Yusuf Farah. Wednesday, the special edition Business Chat with Ibtisam Jamal. All about your health on Healthy Thursdays with Mariam Wacharo. Aisha Khan with thorny pertinent issues every Friday on the Round Table. Fresh discussions, direct probe in Sobah Show, only on Horizon TV.
Actually, that was 40 seconds to be precise. Thank you so much for adding me extra seconds. Asante sana. Welcome back. We are talking about Live Real Talk, and we were talking about the Kibra by-election, and we finished with a statement that some members have felt that the work that was done by the late Ken Okoth was tremendous, and the engine of that particular work was none other than Bernard Otieno Okoth. And that's why they endorsed him for that position. And Fred, you had something to say. I saw you were burning to say something on that as well.
Yeah, just like I was saying, it's really everybody says that there is a battle between Raila and Honorable Ruto. I mean, ideally, it's written in the walls that at no single time can the deputy president compare his muscles to the former prime minister. I mean, those are two different personalities who have served this nation to their best. But if everything remaining constant, like I said, the show of might is not going to be in Kibra. Kibra by-election is just one among the many 290 constituencies we are having. I mean, and for a by-election, we expect, number one, a lower turnout. And people who vote, for heaven's sake, who are they? They're the women, they're the youth, okay? Are we sure that McDonald Mariga is really gonna serve the interest of these people? And just like we said, it's our time to eat. That's really the philosophy behind anyone who is endorsed by the president, I mean the deputy president. That is the assumption Kenyans have. Okay.
And one thing that Ismail from Bungoma said about tribal politics, and said that it's actually a good thing that Mariga is vying in Kibra to give the national outlook. And of course we saw from, if you look in the portal of Kibra CDF, we've seen the way Honorable Ken Okoth balanced out his cabinet, his teamwork.
Yes.
His team. He had Kikuyus, he has Kambas as the chairman of the CDF is a Kamba actually. He has the CFO, the chief financial officer, being a Kikuyu, the deputy being a Luya. So he balanced it out, of course, despite being accused of nepotism by appointing his brother as the constituency manager. And he comes out, Ismail, saying that tribal politics, it's high time that we say goodbye to it. Yasah, along the same lines, what do you think sparks this tribal mentality in Kenya for as far as leadership and governance is concerned?
For many years, I just want to talk about responding back to my colleague. For many years, people have always known, and it's a mere fact, Kibra has been the source of ODM. Kibra has been one of...
If you allow me, I don't know why this keeps on happening to you, because every time you speak, there's a caller calling in. I don't know why it's happening to you all the time. Horizon TV, hello.
Hello?
Hello, Horizon TV.
Yeah,
hello, Horizon TV.
Hello.
Yes.
Nilikuwa nasema hivi.
Yes.
Saizi tuko handshake.
Jina nani kwanza brother, umetoka kufanya gani? Unapiga kutoka wapi?
Napiga kutoka Siaya County.
Okay.
Ugenya constituency.
Watu Ugenya constituency, karibu sana.
Yeah, asante sana.
Yes.
Nilikuwa nasema hivi.
Ndio.
Mimi nilikuwa na support kama watu wa Kibra.
Aha.
Wangechagua Mariga.
Okay.
Kwa sababu siku hizi hatuoni kitu nyepati anatusaidia nayo.
Okay.
Ya sasa ningekuwa tu wa Kibra sasa hivi. Ningeomba wachague McDonald Mariga kama mbunge yao.
Okay.
Ya, asante sana.
Asante sana. Thank you so much. That's a caller from again. Yes, yes. If you can just finish off with your...
Everyone knows Kibra has been one of the biggest strongholds of ODM. And it's a very big shame if Jubilee decides to go with a cup for Kibra. It will be a losing end. And that is why people are comparing Ruto and Raila. Because we all know if ODM loses in Kibra, then the chances of the Prime Minister, former Prime Minister, becoming viral, that's an end. And the issue of tribalism, I really don't support the issue of tribalism. And I hope when we are moving on forward, and everyone that is going to vote in Kibra should really vote for someone who they think that is someone who can be able to deliver. And we've seen for the past 7 years, Ken Okoth has really delivered. And that is something that people should really appreciate. And on my side, if Bernard Okoth is ready to continue, and we've seen he's done it before, because he has been at the CDF office, he's done it before. So if he's given an opportunity, he can do better. And we are hoping for him to do better. On the other side, politics comes in whereby now Donald Mariga is being brought up. And we really don't know the outcomes. And we, as I've been talking about, we should be asking ourselves, why now Mariga? And everyone knew that ODM is going to be vying with other parties, but not Jubilee.
Interesting.
What my brother is saying.
Very quickly, before
ideally,
we go to
it's a dream that our country, we're going to vote not based on tribal alignments. It's a dream. And ideally for our societies to get mature to that extent, we are not yet there. It's really going to take time for us to do this. Ideally, even the young ones, you're able to see in politics of high schools. Today, schools are electing their leaders, for instance. You're able to see the kind of children we are raising. Okay, that in itself is able to define for you the kind of Kenya we are having in the next 10 years or 20 years, the kind of leaders you're going to get, okay? So ideally, we can't run away from the fact that Kenyan politics, as it is right now, is still going to peg its pillars on tribal alignments and who, or rather, which master are you serving?
As it is right now.
As it is right now.
It's going to change maybe.
It's going to change, probably.
If we give an opportunity of the people who have been born in 1990s, coming forward to 2000, believe me, the issue of tribalism will be abolished. The only people who are bringing the tribalism issues are the elders.
But do you have a choice? Do you have a choice? Do you have a choice?
Yes, do you have the political masters. But if given the youth the opportunity, the youth need to wake up and realize that tribalism is not and will never assist us in this country.
Interesting. I foresee us discussing this topic every other Friday, because it is not just a by-election. It is one of the by-elections, because it's making headlines every single day of the week. So I foresee, for as far as we're going to be discussing matters governance and leadership in this country, we will be discussing this topic every other day. We are not campaigning, we're just discussing who has a higher chance and why. To the Kibra voters, you know them. You've seen the candidates, kura yako, sauti yako, nguvu yako. Moving on to our next topic of discussion, the Ugatuzi Initiative. The Council of Governors came out and proposed the Ugatuzi Initiative. They've put up a draft together and they want constitutional amendments, major constitutional amendments. They want the reintroduction of the Prime Minister's position with 2 deputies. They want not less than 45% revenue allocation than the previous year. Okay? They want 18 ministers with 22 deputies appointed from the MPs. What was happening? What we had before in the previous constitution. They want voting to be made compulsory for all Kenyans above the age of 18, and this is being done by them garnering at least 1 million votes and the backing of 24 counties. Of course, the popular initiative, the popular route that the Punguza Mzigo fronted by Third Way Alliance Party leader Dr. Okuru Okot used as well. Them being governors, Fred, do you think Ugatuzi Bill stands a high chance seeing the light of the day compared to Punguza Mzigo? Of course, because these are the county chiefs fronting it.
This Ugatuzi bill is dead on arrival. ideally even the proposals that they are making in the bill, if we really check and counter-check what they really stand for, it's not for the people of Kenya. And ideally, if Kenyans would really disseminate the concepts of that Ugatuzi bill, no one would really endorse it.
There was 45% revenue, not 45% revenue, not less than the previous year. This is supposed to go down to the Monanchi, down to the Wanjiko. So how do you say that this is for them?
Of the money going to the county, how much is used? Okay, how much is used productively? How much goes to these people's pockets? Ideally, it's just the governors centralizing themselves to get more funds to take into their pockets. Ideally, you check, for instance, how many counties do you have? How many have wonderfully worked, okay, with the little they have? Even the president said just the other day, can't you use the little that you have? Can't you be productive with the little that you have, okay?
It's the one, so, quote unquote, being the devil's advocate, because they're not here, quote unquote, maybe because they want to provide better services to the Monanchi, to the Wanjiko down there.
How would they provide by increase of revenue, yet the little that they already have, they're misusing, for instance? Mention 3 counties who have perfectly used the little resources that they have, 0. Leave alone the PR, I mean, we are seeing all over from a few counties, I mean. And if you check through and you check again and again, you really realize that it has not been really used as it was projected. Ideally, if the county as it is right now, if they really used the resources that were given to them, I'm pretty sure Kenya today would have been a different nation. Oh. And of course, we would have been better than what we are.
Thank you so much. Horizon TV, hello. Hello, Horizon.
Yeah, I'm Nixon Ombulo.
Yes, Nixon Ombulo.
Yeah, I'm saying I tried to call, but my phone went off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what I'm saying, yeah, our governments are failing us.
Okay.
Because one of the functions of the governors is to go and look for investors.
Okay.
It's not to concentrate on how the government will help, how the money will come from the national government and come to the county government. And automatically percentages are pushing on.
Okay.
I know with time the population will increase and will move towards that 45% they are looking. So the issue they are moving on the issue of they are moving on the initiative.
Yeah.
It's better they concentrate. They should train its own people, encourage its own people within the county government, so that with time, with a particular form of time, people they can be independent and they'll be able to raise money so that it can facilitate in the county government.
Okay.
Another thing about the initiative that is coming on, the Punguza Mzigo initiative,
yes,
the BBI initiative, including the county government initiative. Me, what I will urge the leader whom we trust most is just to concentrate on development and on how it can make its own people to be independent.
Okay.
Because whatever they are putting in place about the leadership, the prime minister state, the two deputy prime minister state, is just mostly the governors are trying to look at that after 5 years or after 10 years, they will be out in leadership.
Okay.
Where will they be? And they will not run for the presidency. So they are backing up the agenda of that lineage of power, so that those posts of prime ministers, 2 deputies,
yes,
it's a competitive post, so that they can have a point in the next government that they will be there.
Okay.
So me, I want to encourage we as Kenyans.
Yes.
We should be very awake. We should not pass any initiative because it's just adding the burden. Same to Punguza Mzigo is a very good initiative, but we need to concentrate on what is affecting Mwananchi. Because even reducing the budget and reducing the leadership budget so that that money can be used in the other channels. And we have not solved the corruption problem.
Okay.
So we need to solve the corruption problem first. How the money that has been lost, it has been brought back into the government. Then from now, we can now move on to any initiative.
Okay.
Because even when you reduce those leadership positions, and we don't know where the money will go, it's also to bring a lot of scandals.
Okay.
So me, I want to encourage Kenyans, whatever they are, they should not pass any initiative. If is the initiative that is concentrating on the development, infrastructure, reducing poverty, that one will go for it. But for any leadership, no, that one will not pass.
Okay.
So I'm very happy for listening to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Asante sana.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ndugu. Yes, do you think as a country we are out of laws? Because, I mean, it is barely a decade since we promulgated the new constitution in 2010. You know, honestly, yes, and the brother from just came out and talk about governors. They're supposed to go out and look for resources, not misuse the current resources, which is echoed by my brother here, Fred. Do you think we are short of laws in this country? Because we are complaining that we are having too much wage bill with this current constitution, yet we are going ahead and adding a prime minister's position with extra 2 deputies, increasing the number of ministers, get deputies from the parliament again, something that we moved away from. What do you think, Yasah?
When you look at the way taxes are being, the financial year was read, it is the common mwananchi who is going to suffer. And when you look at building bridges initiative, it's something that looks like people only want to stay in power and they want to stay there and continue with corruption.
Sorry, but that's your presumption.
That is my presumption.
Because the BBI report has not yet come out.
It has not yet come out.
So we don't know what are the
It
details
has not
of the
yet
BBI
come
report.
out, but we all know. Let's not play like
you might
we
be
all
assume.
assume. Okay,
no,
let me use the word
you
of
might
assume.
be assuming.
Okay, I am assuming.
Okay.
This thing is to create opportunities for those people who do not have opportunities in the government. And this is to continue with what is happening at the moment, shaking hands so that they can continue for 2022 and plan how to stay in power. Punguza Migizigo is a very good initiative, but it's something that you've seen in county assemblies, the way members of the county assemblies have been behaving on this issue.
Yeah.
Now coming up with Ugatuzi, it's completely insane. It's completely playing with people's mind. Because when you look at all this information,
yes,
part of it in building bridges has some importance.
Yes.
Part of Ugatuzi had some importance.
Yes.
And also building bridges. So if someone comes in and tries to mix and join these initiatives together, we can come up with a very good platform of assisting Kenyans.
And if you can allow me, brother, please, I just want to hold you on that one because you need to pay our bills right now. We need to pay our bills and tunaelekea masokoni. Let's pay our bills, tafadhali. And then we'll be back in a very short break.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
تبارك الذي نزل الفرقان على عبده ليكون للعالمين نذيرا.
Ni kitabu kitukufu.
Ni kitabu ambacho cha miujiza
kilichoteremshwa kwa mpangilio.
Hazikuletwa harufu hizi za mkato moja kwa moja.
Hakuna mfano wake.
Na hamwezi nyinyi Makureishi kuwa ni wenye kutunga kitabu kama hiki ingawa zimetumia harufu zile ambazo zimezitumia katika kuandika au katika kusema.
Miujiza yake Al-Malik.
Mwenyezi Mungu ana uwezo usiokuwa na kifano.
Ni malengo ya Qur'an.
Khazain zote za ardhi na samawati ziko mikononi mwake.
Sheikh Muhammad Badamana na uchambuzi wa Qur'an kwa undani kila Alhamisi saa 3 usiku kwenye Horizon TV.
Yeah, for BBI, I vote for it. And for the Punguza Mzigo initiative, the way it was projected was never the best for our country. Of course, it was adding more burden into people. And for instance, if we talk about the Ugatuzi thing, where they're adding more MPs, you know, I mean, they're giving ministerial positions to MPs. Again, we are politicizing this issue, and we realize we've come away from that issue of politicians again becoming managers of our resources. For instance, there are cabinet secretaries who are aligned to people. Of course, that is what we are seeing right now, but at least they have got no more responsibilities on their masters whom they are serving. Ideally, we would even question, as it is right now, whom are you serving? Okay, fine, but pegged on the constitution, they don't.
There was an issue we were discussing about last week. We were discussing about the Tanga versus Kireke, and the way the state machinery is being used to silence some defiance, some dissenting opinions. And then you're here again talking about us questioning their masters, whether or not they're serving the same masters. How do you integrate that? How do you consolidate the two? Where, quote unquote, the state machinery, as according to Ndindi Nyoro, that the state machinery are being used to target them with dissenting voices, dissenting opinions still in the government. You're here saying that the way the state machinery, the appointed ministers and permanent secretaries are not supposed to be political, are not supposed to be following their political whims. They're supposed to be objective and following what the constitution says.
Honorable James Orengo once said, and he said it so clearly, that the government eats its own people, and I quote. That was so said. And of course, the reason as to why Orengo was saying this was because he was just warning these politicians who was so much of like, when you're in the system, now you're suppressing the other colleagues because you're just in the system. And if you check through, there are ministers who have really worked to their perfections, not really depending on who they are serving for that matter. They cut across, okay? But now again, for our MPs, okay, some of them are so much into sycophancy than serving who brought them to parliament, and that is common wananchi. So again, loyalty. I mean, they're too loyal, for instance, okay, to an extent that just because I'm serving Master A, now I need to suppress Master B to be popular. It's not about mentioning names, or rather, like you have to insult someone to be known, for instance. That's the politics we are having today. That's what is really trending, for that matter. But now, if I want to be popular, then I have to abuse my other party, my other competitor from the other end. It's really not that, okay? What do you do to serve your people, and do you have the backup of people? It's not about the theatrics that we saw from Ndindi Nyoro's constituents, some 20 people marching in the streets and saying, you know, it was really not that. Do you have the backup from the people who elected you? Okay.
Another interesting part about this Prime Minister's position is that when the President will be elected by the voters, of course, the Prime Minister and 2 Deputy Prime Ministers shall be elected by the MPs. I mean, still talking about it, we're having a huge wage bill, and we're having new positions being introduced and pushed down our throats, because the whole conversation on amending, or rather having major amendments in this constitution, are being hyped up. We're seeing more of this nowadays. Every other month we wake up, we're seeing more of this constitutional amendments, which begs me to ask the previous question that was not answered. Are we short of laws in this country, or is the implementation the actual problem?
When you look at the people who are coming up with all these initiatives, they're the same people who supported the Constitution of 2010.
Yes.
What is different from what happened 9 years ago and now? We should be asking ourselves, these people are not here for common wananchi. They're here to create their own jobs.
Exactly, just
and
as
that is something,
selfish interests.
Selfish interest. That is something that we should realize. And that is why I liked one of the callers who said we should just put aside all these initiatives. Let's deal with what is happening now. Then, when we implement these issues, Agenda 4 is here. Are we going to work on Agenda 4, or we are going to deal with Punguza Mizigo, we're going to deal with building bridges, and then Ugatuzi here? I personally feel like this Ugatuzi is an initiative that is coming to silence Punguza Mizigo. Because Punguza Mizigo is one of best practices that if we implement it it can be very well.
So you're vouching for Punguza Mzigo?
I can say I can vouch for Punguza Mzigo. But now that everyone is saying, yes, building bridges, yes, we do not know what is in it. Okay. Then let them come out and show us what is inside there.
The report will be coming out in a month's time.
In a month's time, yes. But yes, what I would ask, we wouldn't want to preempt what is in the BBI building bridges yes, initiative. We really don't know. However, what we are really in the know about is this BBI thing is really about inclusivity. I mean, are we really not, just like you said, we are running away from the tribal politics. We really want an inclusive system where no matter where you come from, there is that inclusive engagement in parliament, in our systems, okay? So the Punguza Mzigo initiative, it was more or less aligned. Actually, it's adding on top of the kind of burden Kenyans have.
Do you know what is inside building bridges?
We don't know.
No one knows.
So why can how are we coming with an idea of it's going to assist in A, B, and C? And we don't even know what's inside there.
No one is advocating for that in this panel. You just advocated for
Punguza Mzigo. I mean,
no one is advocating for Building Bridges initiative. We are discussing objectively, are we short of laws in this country, or is it that these people want to create position for themselves and don't want to implement this current position?
Creation of posts would be to the interest of Kenyans, because of course no one wants what happened in 2007. And the reason as to why that happened was because Kenyans felt there are certain tribes which are so much dominating
inclusivity.
Every other person is fighting for inclusivity.
It's like we're saying now,
inclusivity and equal share of revenue. That's what everyone is advocating for.
Would you go for equal or equitable share of revenue?
Of course, it's equitable share of revenue.
I don't support the idea that my brother is talking about. We cannot relate what is happening now with 2007. We cannot create posts just because we are afraid something might happen in the near future.
Because of the kind of
environment. We are supposed to live in a country whereby voting is supposed to be, what is that?
Democratic rights.
Democratic rights. We're not supposed to create posts just because we are afraid something might happen in the near future.
I would ask you a simple question.
This is something that our leaders should put in place.
I would ask you a simple question.
Our leaders should implement what is happening now. We should use the ongoing constitution to make sure that the country is moving on forward.
Coming from the civil society, what role will you play to ensure that this current constitution is being implemented to the letter, as opposed to us introducing bills and drafts?
As a civil society, there is big space in Kenya, but there is also small space. Our space has been so much reduced and limited on the media, because everything that we talk about, when you look at the media, it's all about politics. But the real situation and the real thing that is happening in the community.
Do you need the media to reach the citizens?
You know, it's clear.
Do you need the media?
We need the media to reach out to the community.
Right. Okay. So you don't need the media. You only need access to these people, so that you're able to tell them that indeed what you really want to focus on this time around is education. Yes. You get quality education, you get quality healthcare. So ideally, what should be our concentration as of now?
Do we have that in our constitution?
Yes, we do.
Should.
Then why go for BBI? Why go for Punguza Mzigo?
They should be asking you that question because you vouched for Punguza Mzigo. We should be asking you that question.
Yes,
I vouched for Punguza Mzigo.
But
what are your pillars of advocating for Punguza Mzigo initiative? I mean, where are you basing your facts? Would you clearly tell us, like,
why would you vouch for Punguza Mzigo?
For Punguza Mzigo, I can say it's quite inclusive. A lot of revenues, a lot of posts that are being created by these other initiatives are not important.
Like which initiatives? Give me two examples.
I won't talk of BBI.
You don't know what it is.
BBI, everyone at BBI is saying
Prime Minister's position.
The number of prime ministers, the number of MPs.
Oh, okay.
It's now MPs voting for other people.
Yes.
Creating more room for other people.
But do you think that is a good thing?
It's not a good thing.
Your facts. Give me facts as to why you would say it's not a good thing. To me, I think yes, when MPs are really voting for a prime minister, it's really gonna be a contested elections with people of sound mind. So it really comes from the people. Whom did you elect as your MP? Because that is going to define the choice of leaders you're going to have up there. They are going to decide the kind of person whom they're going to elect for prime minister position, for instance. And again, this is a ceremonial position, as much as it's being elected by MPs.
Why do we need it? Are we here to celebrate everything?
Gentlemen, I'll take your parting shot.
We cannot be using resources of Kenyans
I'm
for
burning with
ceremonial
questions,
posts.
but Yasah is telling me that our time is up. The time that we paid for is already up, and I need to vacate his studio. He's set. So maybe I'll just take your parting shots.
My parting shot, I would just go back to Kibra elections. It is high time that the people of Kenya can define what kind of leaders they want. Okay, it is about not really what we have been issued to. I mean, what have been fronted for us. But again, it's about who is going to work for us. Ideally, just to mention with names, I would vote for Imran because I mean, Okoth really worked for the people of Kibra, and during the 7 years that Okoth was ailing, there was a brother behind the scenes. And ideally, it's really time that we really vote for someone who is able to move forward. We really don't want to change systems. There is 2022. Okay, we're gonna get that person we want, but for now, let this gentleman really finish his projects that were really left undone. Yes.
Interesting. Yes.
Picking up from my colleague, 7 years has been one of the most important parts in Kibra. What the late Ken Okoth did in Kibra was tremendous.
Yes.
And this is something we should work together, and we should support the candidate that we feel that is the best candidate. That vote from a one person is the same vote that everyone needs. Mariga needs it, Imran needs it, and everyone needs it.
Okay.
I won't say I will vote for who, but the work that Ken Okoth did was tremendous. If Bernard Okoth is going to do the same, good for him. If Mariga is going to do the same, good for him. But let's move away from tribalism.
Okay.
But
okay.
let ODM also realize that this is not the time to be fighting shoulders with Jubilee.
Supremacy battles.
Yeah,
basically.
This is the time when
okay.
we're supposed to select and elect a good leader.
Okay.
And when you look at what is happening now, it shows how important Kibra is to both those two leaders.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And gentlemen, we usually finish your show as we're working out of the set. So I'm going to finish with this. There's a man who had a dream. There's a man who had a dream in America. And his dream was that one day America was going to be led by a black man. His name is Martin Luther King. And in our ticket to the slumberland tonight, my ticket to you, all the way to slumber, I'm quoting this man, where he said, the time is always right to do what is right. The time is right to do what is right. Can be interpreted in many ways according to the two topical discussions that we've had this evening. We spoke about the Kibra by-election and we spoke about the Ugatuzi bill. For the Kibra residents, the time is always right to do what is right. In 2013 and 2017, we came out strongly and voted for a progressive leader, for a visionary leader, someone who you thought would take you to your Kibra dream. We plan and good plan. So God took him away. A chance is coming again, November 7th. The time is always right to do what is right. The Council of Governors are going to prepare a draft, of course, and move around different counties to popularize it, because this is going to go through the popular initiative, whereby they want at least 1 million votes and 24 counties minimum to approve this Ugatuzi bill. It's always important to judge something from a point of knowledge. So get your copy of the Ugatuzi bill, know what it stands for, and remember, the time is always right to do what is right. I've been your host, Faisal Kassim, and see you next week, same place, same time. Thanks so much, gentlemen. Asante sana. Asante sana. Thank you. Thank you. Asanteni.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.